welcome to my channel. For today I'm going to be showing you guys how I grew and built my lash business. So I wanted to quickly jump in here and before we start this video. So I have created a program basically to help you grow your business. That I am a lash tech. I've been lashing since I was 18. I started a small business and I've gotten my business to a place where I feel like it is pretty successful and it is doing pretty well. I also did go to school for marketing and advertising, and my full-time job is as a digital marketing specialist. So I definitely do understand the whole digital world marketing wise, and I basically created a course to help build your businesses. So it's basically going to be what I talk about in this video, but in a lot more depth. The way that the program will work is it is a 2-month program and it'll be a one-on-one call every week. There'll be 2 calls, one at the beginning of the week and one at the end of the week for 1 hour each call. So basically 2 1-hour calls a week. And in the first call of the week, we will talk about the lesson. We'll go through and work on some of the stuff throughout the week. You'll apply the lesson, work on the site or the Instagram or whatever it is that we're working on that week. And then on the last call of that week, we will revise the things that you've worked on, make sure everything's good, and then start on to the next lesson. I'll put on the screen a little course outline of the actual program, and you guys can see kind of how the program looks, what you'll be learning. Obviously, I don't give too much detail in the course outline, but yeah, I'm really excited about this program. If you're interested, definitely follow the Instagram. I will link it down below. I do have one client so far. She's actually my friend, and it was kind of like the inspiration for this whole idea in general, because she as well has a service-based business and she wanted to help grow it because she just feels like she's being held back a bit by the advertising and marketing side of it, where she has the actual tactical skills to be able to do the services and all. The business side is just a little bit difficult for her, a little bit not in her field. So if you're one of those people as well, definitely reach out to me. I would love to work with you and I would love to meet you and have calls with you every week, twice a week for 2 months. That would be so much fun, and also stay in contact after. I'd love to see your business continue to grow. I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get into the video of actually me just talking about some of these tips. I'm gonna be talking to you guys mainly about the tips that I would suggest to you to help expand your business. And I think a lot of these tips haven't been mentioned in other videos like these because I have gone through a ton in the process of getting my business to where it is now. Let's get into it. I have my list here on my laptop, so if you see me looking down, that is why. I'm really excited for this video because I was actually inspired to film this because one of my subscribers messaged me on Instagram, said that she started her lash business because she watches my videos and I inspired her, and I just thought that was so sweet, and I'm so excited for her because I know it's gonna do so amazing. So I figured this video is for her, but also any of you guys that want help with your lash business, because you know, there's enough out there for all of us. We have a lot to get through, so I'm just gonna quickly list off every single one of the things I'm gonna be talking about, and then I'll go into depth with all of them. I'll leave timestamps so you guys can skip to the parts of the videos that you have more interest in, but I would suggest kind of paying attention to all of them because all of them have really helped build my business all together. So we have Instagram, website, Google My Business, taking pictures, being personable, taking inventory, managing your money, deposits. So I'm not gonna be talking about the basics of these things. I'm not gonna be showing you guys how to post on Instagram. I'm gonna show you guys the things that actually made a big difference in my business. So let's get into it. First thing on Instagram was locations and hashtags. I know there are ads on Instagram that you can use, and I did use them in the beginning of my business, but I don't know if they're as profitable, I guess you could say, now. I would definitely suggest trying them out. In the beginning when I was doing them, I would literally do $10 for a week and it would bring me a few clients, but I don't think it was making that much of a big impact on my business. I would say that the biggest things were hashtags and locations. So hashtagging things like lash extensions and then your city. So I would hashtag all of the areas around me, and then the smaller cities near me, and then also my city, of course. I would hashtag things like the malls near me and stores near me, things like that, as well as just spas, facials, beauty products, stuff like that. Things that people would be searching that kind of have to do with the beauty industry. By the way, I do want to mention all of this stuff does apply for other businesses. This isn't just for lash extensions. This stuff does apply for basically any service-based thing that you're doing. So that can be, waxing or barbering. Is that even a word? I don't know. But I'm gonna be talking in regarding to what I do, which is lash extensions. So anyways, as I was saying, with locations, I would say be specific. So you can do the general city on some posts, and then you can do smaller cities for the other posts. You basically wanna cover as much ground as possible. And when it comes to hashtags, comment them under your picture. Don't include it in the actual caption, because sometimes I just find it looks a little messy. And also it does the exact same thing when you just comment it on your picture, and it also gives your picture some engagement on your photo. Next thing I'm gonna talk about is a website. Oh, another thing with Instagram that I was doing in the beginning was I would go to the locations of the area that I'm in. So for example, I was in Toronto. So I would search up Toronto in the little search bar of Instagram, and I would follow girls that had posted with that hashtag recently. So basically I'm following girls in Toronto. They're gonna see my page, hopefully they're gonna come to me. It's helping to get my brand out there without actually having to pay anything. And sometimes actually in the beginning, I would directly message those girls that seemed like they had a good following and also posted a good amount, and basically tell them that I was willing to do a free set or a discounted set in exchange for them posting on their stories of my business, and that helped a lot. So yeah, I would definitely suggest that, especially if you're in a smaller city. If you're in a smaller city, I feel like it might be easier to actually expand your brand, because if you're like the only lash tech in all of your city, you got that, you know? So yeah. Next thing I'm talking about is website. This was the thing that, website and Google My Business were the things that actually took my business from being like a thing that I was constantly having to work at, constantly having to kind of like beg to get customers for, having to post on Instagram constantly and make promotions constantly and reach out to people. And although that is just gonna be how it is in the beginning, once I was able to get kind of established on Google, that went away. And I want to talk to you guys about how to do that, because that made the biggest difference in my company. I get new clients and new people calling me for appointments constantly. I'm actually like now at the point where I'm telling people I don't have availability, which is where we all want to be at. So Google is your best friend, and let's get into like, you know, how to do this. I started off by making my website on Wix. I've done so many different website like reconstructions on there. You guys can go check out my website down below. I'll link it so you guys can see kind of how I have it laid out. I have my services on there. I have a gallery so you can see photos. I have reviews on there. I have my booking site linked on there. I have a contact us form linked on there. And I have a ton of SEO on that website. So SEO is search engine optimization. I did actually go to school for marketing and advertising communications. So I do have a background in kind of marketing in general and SEO, but it did take a lot of research for me to be able to actually figure out how to do this stuff. So I'm just gonna give a few tips. So basically figure out what your keyword should be. And then basically I have it sprinkled all throughout my site. And I make sure that my H1, which is like the header of your page, you'll see when you go into what's it called? Wix. When you go into Wix, it actually helps you make your site with all of this stuff in mind, with SEO in mind. Pay attention to your SEO. That is one thing I would say do not skip on, because that is basically the only thing that's gonna get you ranked on Google. I made sure that my pictures had alt text, which means that the text behind your images, or the text that like is being held within your images, has to do with your keywords. All of that stuff basically tells Google that you are correct on what you're talking about, and that this is what people are looking for. So when someone searches up lash extensions at Etobicoke, my things are more likely to come up, because I've put so much effort into making sure my site is like generated towards that one keyword. I would definitely recommend Wix. You can start off with the free site. I did for a long time, and you don't necessarily need to get your domain. You can just do the free one, which is like Wix and then whatever your brand is. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is Google My Business. Being on Google My Business has also been something that has helped my business a lot. I post pictures on there constantly, or well, not as much anymore, but I used to post pictures on there really frequently. I have my hours on there, my contact information, and reviews is the thing that is gonna help push your business the most on Google My Business. I would message them and just be like, hey, it would really help me out if you could leave a review, if you don't mind. Obviously, if it was like a good customer experience, you see that they liked their experience, they're most likely not gonna have a problem leaving a review on your business. So that pushes your business so much. And if you can get on like that first page of Google, you are good, because then when people literally are searching up lash extensions, you're gonna come up, and then you're gonna be who they click on, you're gonna be who they call, you're gonna be who they go to. And it's just the easiest way. I also kind of want to say that a lot of the older clientele goes to Google for their needs rather than going onto Instagram, which a lot of the younger clientele does. And not that having younger clientele is bad, but the older demographic of clientele is a lot more respectful of a business, and they're a lot more understanding of how business works. So they're gonna respect your time, they're gonna respect your business, they're gonna respect, you know, communication wise, how you communicate back and forth with each other, payments, all of that stuff tends to be a little bit easier with that crowd. So if you can get in with that crowd, with like the moms of your city, do it. I'm telling you, do it. It's just such a fun experience having all of these people of different ages coming to you and hearing about their life, because, you know, as a lash tech, everyone tells you everything and you get to just listen to all these people's experiences and all their lessons in life and, you know, give them advice, they give you advice, and it's a nice thing. I like it a lot, having like different age groups rather than just the younger groups. Next I'm gonna talk about is taking pictures. When it comes to taking pictures, do not overly edit your photos. Like, it's just not authentic to your business and it just doesn't seem right. It's one thing to be smoothing your clients' under eyes or their skin or their pimple or whatever it is, but it's another thing to be fully accentuating just the lashes, making them look darker, making them look thicker, making them look shiny or matte, or doing all these different things. And as a lash tech, once you've been doing it long enough, you can see it in other lash techs' posts, and it almost makes you look at them like, not in a bad way, but you look at them like, okay, like, what does your work actually look like? Like, we can't tell by these pictures, you know what I mean? So keeping your work authentic really is beneficial. Also, then clients won't leave thinking this wasn't what I saw online. They'll leave thinking, oh, like, yeah, this looks like what I wanted, but on my face, you know what I mean? So yeah, that would be one of my tips, is taking pictures and not overly editing them. Next I want to talk about is being personable. So when your clients are actually coming in and they're having their experience with you, if you're noticing that you don't have good client retention, meaning that like clients aren't coming back and back and back and back and back, their client loyalty isn't there, it could either be because of personality wise, just not, you know, clashing with the client, or it could be because of the work, or be, you know, things that have nothing to do with you, like financial situations and things like that. But if you're noticing it's like a reoccurring thing, I would definitely suggest maybe trying to reflect a little bit on your business and making sure that they're coming in and you have a smile on your face, you have music playing, you have a calm environment for them to come into, they feel welcomed, it smells nice, and it looks pretty, or just at least clean. Another thing I really like to do with clients is you can kind of read, I know it's not as easy for everyone because not everyone is like a people person, but if you aren't, something that I would suggest doing is trying to see if the client seems like they want to talk or not. So, you know, you can ask a few questions back and forth. What are your plans for this weekend? How was your week? How did your lashes last? Do you want to do the same thing? So what are some things you didn't like about your lashes this time that you want to change? And they might say nothing, but just getting a back and forth of a conversation going is good. And if they seem to have very like short question or short answers, it might just mean they want a nap and they don't really want to talk, and be mindful of that. So if they're doing that, then just like be quiet, turn up the music a little bit, make sure it's not too loud, and do your work. Sometimes those are your like best clients because you don't have to talk. And there's other times where clients do want to talk, and if they're talking to you, you know, you want to be giving them that back and forth, enjoying their company, making sure they're having a nice experience. You're having a nice experience, make the best of it. And I've had full-on clients tell me sometimes, like, oh, my lash tech told me not to talk because I was going to ruin my lashes. And I know what they mean. Maybe if it was like the laughing where your cheeks go up and then like, you know, the eye pads kind of go into your eyes a little bit more, and that can kind of, you know, be a little harder to work around. But for the most part, like, you talking is not going to ruin your lashes, and it just seems rude. And obviously that client didn't keep going to that person. They started coming to me. So just be respectful, you know, you're a business, like carry yourself like a business. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. I'm talking so much with my hands right now. Another thing I want to talk about is taking inventory. A big thing that you want to do is make sure you have enough supplies. You don't want a client to come in and then you don't have glue, or you don't have lashes, or you don't have iPads, or whatever it is. So what I like to do is, now I've gotten to a place where I have a ton of everything, but when I start to when I start to run low on something, I will put in my notes on my Wink and Arch folder in my notes app on my phone exactly what it is I'm running low. So like 0.5 C15, meaning I need to go and buy a tray of that row, or a mixed tray of 0.15s. That way I know that I'm running low on those and I need to get them before I actually run out. You want to make sure that it's before you've run out, not like after you've run out, because then it's kind of like, what if you have a client tomorrow and you don't have the stuff you need? Next thing would be managing your money. Managing your money, that was something that I really was like confused with doing when I first started my business. So what I like to do is I have a separate bank account in my same debit card. It's just a different bank account. It's like a savings account under it that is, that is separately for my business. And what I do is I take about $20 from each appointment. So when the deposit comes into me, I take $20 from that and I put it directly into that account. And that account is there for if I need to buy supplies or whatever it is. And you can obviously change the amount if you want to only save $10 of it or $5 of it or $50 of it. You change the amount to whatever is suiting you. But that way you just always have money set aside for your business that isn't your money. Like that money in my head is not something I would go buy shoes with. That money is out of mind, out of sight. And also it's nice that when you go and buy stuff, you can go from that account and it doesn't feel like you're losing your own money. You're like using your money for your business. So deposits. So for deposits, I do a $50 deposit. I like to do a kind of large chunk of money because I noticed when I was doing low chunk of money, like some people just didn't care if they lost $10, $15. $50 is a little harder to lose, you know, like for your soul. Also, like for my time, if I was supposed to be making $100 for that hour or 2 hours, and you know they don't show up, at least I made $50 and I did nothing. Yeah, they wasted my 2 hours, but I made $50. We can just cut our losses and it is what it is. I always take note of the clients that do no shows because then I want to know not to rebook them. They are no longer allowed to rebook with me unless they have messaged me beforehand, obviously, and said like, oh, I can't come because X, Y, and Z, or I need to reschedule because X, Y, and Z. Another thing is being strict on your deposits. A lot of the times, especially in the beginning, when I first started doing my deposits, I had a lot of clients that were like pissed. Like they were like, oh, like I booked an appointment with you, I sent you $50, da 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 da, refunds. I mean, I should be getting a refund on this deposit, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you have to explain to them that in the beginning, I have it all over my site, I have it all over my Instagram page, I have it in a message that I send them before they send the deposit. I make it very, very, very clear that it is a non-refundable deposit. No matter what they do, they will not be getting that money back. So once they book the appointment and send the deposit, that spot for them is confirmed and that money is confirmed that it is no longer theirs. Make that very clear, otherwise you're gonna have a lot of clients being pissed. Make sure you say non-refundable. I literally had to, like, I'll read you the message that I wrote out. Like, it couldn't be more clear because people were still like not understanding what I meant by like non-refundable. Deposit of $50 required to secure your appointment. This will be applied to the total service cost, meaning if your appointment's $100 and the deposit is $50 is what they owe at their appointment because they've already sent me $50. Hopefully that makes sense. Meaning at your appointment, you will pay your service fee minus $50. Deposit is non-refundable. No matter how far in advance you may cancel, the deposit will not be refunded. Rescheduling is accepted due to this current Rescheduling is accepted due to the current health circumstances. The deposit can be sent to blank. So that is what I use for my clients. So yeah, deposits are a huge help because a lot of the times, especially in the beginning, you're gonna have people who are like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see you, da da da, and then either block your number or just disappear or just stop answering you. And it is very frustrating to waste your time, especially if you're someone who has other things going on and is busy and is making sure you're cutting out this time. It's gonna start to make you almost like hate your business and you don't want that. So deposits are almost like a way to protect your sanity. Oh, I just talked so much and I feel like so fast. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I hope that you got some information out of this and I hope that you are excited for your business. Don't feel overwhelmed. I know it seems like a lot, but it's really not. Once you get it going, it kind of just like is dealing with itself. But in the beginning, it does feel like a lot. So take it slow, figure out what you can do, make lists, make tangible goals, and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy the process of it. Also follow my page on Wink and Arch. That is my lash business page. And follow my personal page, which is xerindavisx. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching and wish you the best.